the largest tax cut in Texas history could be taking place sometime this year. You guys, we do everything bigger here in Texas, and this is no exception. So if you are a property owner here in the state of Texas, I'm going to talk to you about the possible reduction you can get in your property taxes. So stick around. Texas property owners, this is very exciting news. This upcoming election in November, we as owners have the opportunity to vote to reduce our property taxes. I hear it from a lot of people that are out of state and they move to Texas and they're weighing the numbers and what does everything cost. And a lot of people are saying, gosh, your property taxes are high. And that is the truth. They are high. But on the offset, we don't have state income taxes. But now we have the opportunity to save money every year starting this year. So let's get into what this proposed bill is. Senate Bill 2 is the proposed property tax cut. Senate Bill 3 is the tax relief bill. And the Joint House Resolution 2 is the constitutional amendment to put this in place. Okay, so what does all of this mean? There are actually 4 areas in which your property taxes can be reduced. So let's talk about area number 1. The first thing is with your homestead exemption. Right now we receive a $40,000 discount on our property taxes based on this homestead exemption. Well, that $40,000 is now going to be increased to $100,000. And if you are over 65 and own a home here, then that increase will actually go to $110,000 off of your property taxes. Okay, that's fantastic. The next area is reduction in our school property taxes. So that reduction will now increase to 10.7 cents on every $100 of your home's value. Now, our property taxes are made up of quite a few things, and the school property tax tends to be a little bit higher than, let's say, your hospital property tax or the college tax that some areas might have. So a reduction in the school property tax is a great plus. Watching this video and thinking, well, I own more than one property here in Texas, or I own a commercial property. Well, there is actually a benefit for you guys as well. Right now, when you own a home here in Texas, you can only file the homestead exemption for the property that you live in. You cannot file this homestead exemption for a vacation house, a rental property, or a commercial property. And with that homestead exemption for current property owners, we will not have our taxes increase more than 10% a year. So if you have a rental property or commercial property, you don't have that luxury to kind of fall back on and go, well, we know our property taxes won't increase more than 10%. You don't have that with your secondary properties, but that can change. So now for non-homestead owners, for the next 3 years, there is a cap in what your property taxes can go up, and that will be 20%. So that's definitely something nice to think about, that if you are thinking about purchasing a second property and you're worried, gosh, there's no cap in where my taxes can go up. Well, for the next 3 years, there is going to be a 20% cap that those property taxes can go up. And let's not forget about small business owners. For small businesses that earn less than $2.47 million a year, you will no longer have to pay the state franchise tax, which is absolutely fantastic for small business owners. So again, these are all things that actually do have to be voted on in November in this upcoming election in order for any of these things to take place. But the nice thing is that if it does pass and does go into effect, that it'll actually go in effect for 2023 taxes. Here in Texas, we pay our taxes in arrears. So right now, me personally, I have not paid my 2023 taxes because they're not due yet. I don't pay those until 2024. So I've paid my 2022 taxes, of course, but here we pay for the previous year of our taxes. So with this bill going into effect, hopefully, knock on wood, in November, if it does get voted on, it'll take effect for the 2023 year. All right, so thank you, Danae. We really appreciate what all this means, but how much is this actually going to save me? Well, I'm so glad you asked. According to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, he expects that Texas homeowners could be paying anywhere from $1,200 to $1,450 less in property taxes increase. And again, that begins this year. Now, what does this mean for those of you that are planning to purchase a house here? It actually means that your buying power will now increase. Okay, what does that mean? In your total monthly bill that you pay on your house, it includes 4 things. It includes your mortgage. It includes the interest on your mortgage. It includes your homeowner's insurance, and it also includes your property taxes. So all 4 of those things are all bundled into nice one big lump sum payment. And what your mortgage lender does is they estimate, based on where the property is, how much all of this is going to cost you. Type in the address, they look at the home, the age of the home, and maybe guesstimate, how much your homeowner's insurance is going to be. And then of course at closing, you will definitely know what your final payment is going to be. But now with our property taxes, again, knock on wood, let's just hope this gets voted on. With our property taxes going down, you actually have more money that you could possibly use towards the purchase price of the house. Remember during the pandemic when our mortgage interest rates were like 3% and sometimes less for some people, and there was a huge buying frenzy because everyone's payments were going to be so much lower because their interest was lower and they had more flexible money to spend on their house and maybe furnishing the house or things like that. Well, now we kind of have that here. With saving on our property taxes every month, you can actually afford more house and probably get more house for your money because you're not making that extra, maybe roughly $100 payment a month. My prediction is, right now, us Texans, we know about this. I'm putting out this information so that we know that this proposed tax cut is coming down the line. So we may know, like, okay, let's maybe look into purchasing something because we know we're going to be saving a little bit of money on our property taxes. But when you have people coming from out of state, they have no idea what's going on. They don't know. They probably don't know that our property taxes are going to be decreased sometime soon. So I feel like for those of you that are here and you're wanting to purchase something, but things may be a little bit of a stretch for you, I want you to really think about, come this fall, end of the year, when these taxes will go down, that you're going to have a little bit more buying power. And of course, I don't have a crystal ball. Believe me, I wish I did. I would love to know when interest rates are going to go down. I've been hearing rumblings that in Q4 of this year, we should see our interest rates maybe be in the 6s, like the low 6s, and not in the 7s and a little bit over 7 that we're seeing right now as I'm filming this video. I know typically the holidays are not really a time that people are seasonally really buying houses. It tends to dip down just a little bit. Homes are still selling, but not as much as they normally do in the spring and summer months like we see. My prediction is that if we see these property taxes go down a little bit, and if our interest rates also go down a little bit, I think we're going to see an uptick in our market here in DFW. Just my prediction, putting that out there, and I hope I'm right. I certainly hope I'm right, because I would love that for the buyers that I work with, and I would also love that for the sellers that I'm working with too. I want to know if you're planning to purchase here somewhere in DFW, and if you're planning to sell and you don't have an agent to work with you, I would love to offer my services. So my contact information is in the description below, and definitely check out this video right here. All right, have a great week, everyone. I'll see you soon.